Alright guys, so today we're going to be talking about Arc 2, and the trailer will be playing in the background while we talk about this, but I believe on April Fool's Day, the game got delayed on the 1st to next year, right? And I thought this was a joke, so I didn't really talk about it. I wasn't sure if it was real or not, but it ended up being real. The game is delayed to next year, but that's not what we're here to talk about, okay? So, some new information has come out regarding Arc 2, right? Now, obviously, we knew that the game was going to release a second game, and it was controversial on, well, how much is really going to be changing, because they've been constantly releasing DLC for this game. What's it going to cost? Is it going to be as bad as the first one was at launch? You know, all these questions that people have had since they saw the big bald man in the trailer the very first time. But the information I have today, I think, is pretty interesting. So, let me go ahead and start from the beginning. The reason the game's delayed is because of Unreal Engine 5, and they're working with that and tweaking it to make the game better, which, whatever, that's fine. So what they've said instead is they're going to release a remaster or a remake of the game, the first one. And so my problem with this is that there's already a Series X, enhanced version of this game out. And it looks and runs significantly better. But that was what? A year, maybe 2 years by the time this new version actually comes out. And so, realistically, how big of a difference is it going to be? And if they're going to do that, what's the point of making a whole new second game when you could just overhaul the first game? But, whatever, regardless, they're switching to Unreal 5, so I guess you could make that point. Let's talk about the more controversial stuff. So, with this remake, number one, none of your existing data will carry over into the remake. Now, with the game that is pretty much wiping, depending on what server you're playing on, relatively consistently, this doesn't bother me too much. I mean, I've played starting from zero a couple of times, and like with DayZ or any type of survival game like this, typically, unless this is like your absolute love game, like this is the only thing you play, you don't last more than a month typically before you've really done everything, or you at least fail to meet your goal. My problem is that this remake, remaster, whatever you want to call it, is going to cost money. It hasn't said how much money, but knowing Arc and their problems with pricing things and releasing things before they're ready and all that stuff, I'm going to assume it's going to be full price, just like the second game will be and the first game was. And you also have to buy all of the DLC again for the remake. So if you want this remastered, remade version, let's say it comes out over the summer. I have no idea, this is just speculation, but let's say it comes out over the summer, right? And you spend, let's say they go and do their whole game preview thing, which is what they originally did, which is when you paid $30 for the game. Say the game's $30. I don't know all of the DLCs. I haven't played this game recently, but I can think of at least 4. So that's probably $100 right there. So just to get, if you have all of the DLCs, to where you have now, it's going to be like crisp $150, let's say. Now, if all of this is on Game Pass, nothing I said matters. But I think it's kind of scummy to make a remaster of your current game, release all of the DLC, have both of them cost money, when everybody knows in 6 months to a year you're releasing a new game, when none of that stuff's going to matter, none of that stuff's going to transfer over, and you're going to have to buy that new game. And so that's kind of just my 2 cents on it. I'm hoping in the coming months, maybe this new remaster will become free, or again, it'll be on Game Pass. You won't have to rebuy all of the DLC you've already bought. Now, the save's not transferring thing, I understand. There's really nothing you can do about that, especially between the old game and the new game. It's fine. I have no problem with that. It tends to be what's expected. But this whole having to rebuy everything thing when you're going to be re-releasing a game that's been out for years and a game that's going to be coming out next year, I just think is a bit much. But that's just my thoughts. If you guys, let me know what you think down in the comments below. The Arc community is crazy. These are the people that play for like 30 hours at a time to finish building their base, so maybe you guys have absolutely no problem paying for a remaster and then paying for a new game, because that new game launches like the first one and it just doesn't work at all. Everyone's going to be crying again. So, but that's just my thoughts on it. Again, let me know what you guys think. and I'll see you guys on the next one.